Journey of love. They met at her brother's and her sister's ring ceremony. She looked resplendent in a light-colored and sky-blue-colored shirt, and she looked ravishing in a blue shade dress. They were both a blur to each other, not even a vague idea of their names, but there was no doubt that the one thing that drew them to each other was their eyes. Their eyes were the source of their bonding, and they used to look at each other to hide from others their identity was that of the boy's brother and the girl's sister. After some time, due to some ritual, his father called him and said, "Inayat, come here," and at that very moment he was named. When she was busy with work he was showing her, and immediately someone called Adiva here, and she turned and looked at him, and yes, she got his name too. The two looked at each other throughout the event, and interestingly enjoyed the occasion with small comments. They danced together only for a few moments. When they came to her house she kept staring at him and said, "Ma'am, can we have water?" And she said, "Yes, of course." At the time of the tie-up of the shoe, she wanted to say goodbye to him as they still haven't spoken a word to each other due to family reasons. It is about their initial meeting. Rice ball. A month after the ring ceremony, a notification was sent to their phone that you have been added to the family group. Yes, it was his family group which included both him and his sister. His number was spared from the group by including it. After 4-5 days of group discussion, they start talking to each other, and those meetings are very less after that. They settle with each other, and he arranges to meet separately unlike family, and with less time. Later he said okay. Adeep called him and said, "Where are you, Inayat? How long have I been waiting for you? Come quickly." She said, "Yes, I will come in a moment." Looking smart in this blue denim with a triple shade t-shirt, Inayat tells Adeep, "Hey, how long does it take me? How do you look extra?" Said gracefully. It was their initial encounter with long drives, as their colleges were far away from home but the colleges were close to each other. This explains why their drive has become related to the drive. They come back home after many talks, and in between, he requests food and Inayat says okay. They sat on the second floor of KFC and ate bowls of rice chosen from above. Adeep says, "First time खा रहा हूँ ये आपके साथ." He said, "मैं KFC में हमेशा यही खाती हूँ बा कुछ ना." This was their first, informal, encounter with food. They discussed it among themselves. It was ideal for both of you to meet each other, and that night he thought of her for the first time, and their call was only an hour and a half. First gift. It was Christmas Eve and his family had a Christmas lunch party. His consent was rejected but he agreed to them and offered his acceptance. They were both eager to meet again, but this time they should act vaguely or family-like. They meet for lunch at the Mirage Inn. They were shocked but their eyes were talking and they both looked radiant. He gave her the first gift like his juju side, but it was his gift. He admitted, however, that he had no idea the gift was his. Both families enjoy lunch and then they play important games like truth and dare, and indoor whatnot. Eventually, they are happy during the day and one night their brother-in-law drops them home. In the evening she called him and asked Adeep, "How was your day?" He said, "I was like, I shouldn't say anything about you." "I was fine too," Inayat told him. "Did you think to the extent that you had a hot look in that grey dress with dark heels?" He offered his praise. "Oh, thanks a lot Adeep, and how wisely you mixed that very opposite in equal measure." Inayat told him. "How was my gift?" he asked her. "Your gift," surprising tone, "No, it's Jiju's gift, he gave it to me." Inayat told him. "Hey Ram Inayat, that gift was for up, and I agreed. I could not give it like everyone else, so I got it from my brother, a fool." "Okay," Inayat told him. Home trip. Since there is less time for weddings after Christmas, families get busy in anticipation of the wedding. That day she was also busy with promotions. Home trip. Since there is less time for weddings after Christmas, families get busy in anticipation of the wedding. That day she was also busy with promotions. What? Actually, you come home because you are now revealing in front of me. It is not fair. Adib replied enthusiastically. Hello Shonen, main akele na ek rahi family saath ekri hu to don't get so excited and see you tomorrow, bye. She told him. The next day his family went to his house and it was the first time they had come to his house and they both looked flawless in traditional attire. They didn't talk to each other like hello hi. They enjoyed the ritual as much as the lunch. He called her at night and she was busy with some work and she received the call without looking and said Hanji Hanna Daso. Adiv says Aussie das 6 linga tusi kan vich phone na faddo, Aussie video call kitti si, audio na. Dayalu I am sorry yaar meet you, say yes he replied. Ohe me mar jav aaj kudi bilkul hi patakha lag risi suit salwar which te kahar da ditasi Adib ne praised her. She flared up and said thank you ji aar tusi 6 aaj to bade sona lag risi white kurta pajama which. Besides, this was his first video call. She flared up and said thank you ji aar tusi 6 aaj to bade sona lag risi white kurta pajama which. Besides, this was his first video call. While dancing Adib whispered in her ear you are looking very stunning in this dark dress and yes I like you gracefully and you can't talk right now as we are in front of the family, Adib signaled her. He was surprised yet because of his family he was calm and very shy. Copycat. The day they wanted was the one they were stopping at Shagna Aladdin. She looked attractive in a dark dress, a typical outfit for a wedding, and believed she was wearing too dark, and all eyes were on her during the segment. Finally, he saw her coming out from behind the woman and he was lost in it. She looked like a little princess in that sea green dress with tufts. She ignores everything and takes a break from the real world and leaps into her creative mind where they both take their vows and walk on the dance floor. BSS Karo Khuli Aankh Se Khwab Na Doha Janab his partner gave a hit with these lines. Throughout the marriage, he was constantly showing her. They talked for a few moments at the wedding and praised each other. During their life, both of them gave all the blessings for their relatives' marriage, which was organized by Adib and Inayat. What's more, at the same time Inayat gave him a similar gift and he was surprised to see her and said, "This is from me for you, you gave me one gift and I gave you another so the similarity is insane." After marriage she was most distant and tired as her calendar had changed now she was rarely alone but now she was different also Adib realized this and as he thought it was time and there is thought. Desperation and his need not to face the same stage was the explanation that brought them closer to each other. While going to college in the morning, as in the evening, it was their daily habit to hang out with each other. They have a lot of routines with each other. Also, it was common for both of them to talk less to each other. There was an occasion in a family, and their family welcomed them both as it was a chance to meet each other. They wore their favorite clothes and also their smartwatch. She was wearing her favorite clothes and both were getting good with each other. They were walking on the floor together and Inayat whispered in his ear, "Adib, I like you a lot and you can't make a statement because we are already there. Family and so much for her." She freaked out and said, "Oh copycat.